Hey, what's up, VC? It's Steve again, Harmless Rebel, and this is going to be a concert review, I guess is the best way to put it, on Wednesday night. So, what is today? Wednesday of last week, so it's been about 8 days since I actually went to the concert, but I went and saw Anvil live here in downtown Atlanta. And the opening acts were a local band named Gunpowder Gray, and then a Detroit band that's been touring nationally called Against the Grain. First off, just across the board, it was an amazing show. All three bands just absolutely killed it. I was really impressed with the two opening acts. Gunpowder Gray, I have heard of, but I was not familiar with. I knew they were a local band. I've seen their CDs and their records in local stores in the past, but never grabbed them. Honestly, I wasn't sure what their style was. But I'll definitely go see them again in the future. And if for some reason you happen across one of their albums or their EP, I would definitely grab it. It's gotten some very good reviews nationally. And I do believe that they've done a couple smaller tours, at least here along the East Coast. I'm not sure that they've done a national tour yet, but they've been around for a few years, and they're really doing a good job. So, again, the opening band was Gunpowder Gray. I missed the first half of their set, unfortunately, and I didn't even think to pull out my camera and do a video clip of their set. I really wish I would have, because it would have been cool to share. But I will go ahead and put a quick clip of their CD in right now. This is the CD cover. Again, it's Gunpowder Gray. So I'll put a quick clip here of one of their songs. And down below, make sure you check out this link. There's a link to one of their videos. They just did a music video not too long ago for the song Saints, which is the last song on the album. It's a really cool music video. It's very well produced. I was pretty blown away by it, so I recommend checking that out as well. But this is Gunpowder Gray.
What I say, science and sinners, losers and winners, like I say, I'm terrible, but
and that was again Gunpowder Gray. Their music's a really cool mix. You've got elements of late 80s sleaze, Guns N' Roses, a little bit of Thin Lizzy in there, and they actually played some Thin Lizzy at the show. And then even a little bluesier elements of, say, Black Sabbath or early 70s blues rock or hard blues. Really, really cool band. Again, if you're in this area or if they're playing locally in your area, again, I recommend checking them out. If you like the music, I'm pretty sure they have a Bandcamp, so I'll put a link to their Bandcamp below, and you can order the CD. The next band that came on, again, is a Detroit band, Against the Grain. I played a clip of this in maybe my last video or two videos ago, and somebody in California had mentioned that they had actually seen them live there, and I was looking, they've toured a couple times across the U.S., and they've opened for some pretty big bands. Who was the last one? I don't remember. They were just opening for another band before this short leg with Anvil, but another band that's definitely worth checking out. This is also kind of a mixed sound. They call themselves Detroit Speed Rock, and there's definitely elements of hard rock. There's some elements of speed metal in there, some punk. It's a pretty good mix of just American music, and they've definitely got that Detroit sound in there. You can definitely hear that. But again, another great band. The only bad thing I can say about them is the sound wasn't the greatest in the club for this band. The sound was definitely set up for Anvil, and the vocals kind of got overrun, I guess, by the instruments. But still, they did a really good set. I was really impressed with this band as well. The one thing I didn't like about this band, and it's overall I like the music, so it wasn't that big of a disappointment. But the drummer was playing a jazz set, so basically one tom, one floor tom, and then the bass drum and the snare. So basically a four-piece. I've never been a fan of bands only using a four-piece in heavy metal or hard rock. I personally like the wider range of toms, and I'm not saying you need 15 toms, but at least, a good 4 or 5 toms and some double pedals to really get that speed metal or that hard rock sound. That's just a personal preference of somebody that played drums for a lot of years, but they still did a good job. And like I said, I still really liked the band and the music, but that's my only criticism. So I'll go ahead and put a quick clip in. Actually, I'll do 2 clips of the band from the show, and then I'll also do a quick clip of one of the songs from the album. And then last up, we've got Anvil, which is what's playing in the background right now. This is Anvil is Anvil. This is the album that they are touring. This particular copy could only be gotten through Pledge Music, I believe. And it was they call it the Special Limited Band Edition. So this is a self-pressed copy of the CD. You can't get this anymore. If you buy a copy of this CD in the stores or online, you'll actually get the SPV pressing. And this one is signed by the band. Again, this was part of the Pledge Music deal. It wasn't part of the show. So I wasn't sure what to expect with Anvil. Let's be honest, they've got some amazing songs. They've got some really cheesy stuff too. And Lips, the lead singer, is known for being kind of a goofy guy. And he definitely was during the show, but it did not take away from the show. The band was absolutely amazing. From beginning to end, Lips came out with his guitar. He walks right into the middle of the crowd, literally gets off the stage, walks right into the middle of the crowd, and starts tearing it apart. He let people get around him with their cameras. People were right on top of him videotaping and taking pictures, and he was cool with all of that. I thought that was really cool. I didn't go in there and get a picture of that particular moment because I had a real nice spot right in the front of the stage. I didn't want to lose, so I just hung out where I was. But then they came on. Sorry about that, guys. Had a little technical difficulty. My iPad ran out of room. Too many videos on there, so I had to clear that stuff off. But as I was saying, I had a nice spot next to the stage, so I didn't go in and get any up close shots of Lips at the beginning there. But from there, Lips got back up on stage, and the band jumped right into a couple of a couple of tracks off their first album. Went into a few solos. From there, they went into This Is 13, which, if you haven't heard the album, This Is 13, that's one I recommend buying right away. That's by far my favorite Anvil album. For most of that album, it's this really nice kind of a mix of a doom and cross between Motorhead. That's just like, that's perfect Anvil for me. That's the stuff that I love from Anvil. I love their more their doomier and then their mid-tempo stuff. This Is 13 is a really doomy song. They did a really long version of it. It was super heavy. Just really got into it. That's one album or one song that I didn't get a clip from because I was really just getting into it. From there, they just did kind of a couple songs from their throughout their career. Then they went into Daggers and Rum, which is the first song off of this new album. I didn't initially like the song. It kind of grew on me. It's kind of a pirate song, obviously, Daggers and Rum. But I mean, they do a good job on it, but live, they absolutely killed it. That song was awesome. Really dug it. From there, where did he go? Next he played Die for a Lie, which I talked about when I reviewed this when it first came out. I'm not a fan of the song. It's an attack on religion. It's not a very good one or a very well thought out attack on religion either. But this concert happened to be the day after the Orlando shooting. And he actually has a song called Gun Control on here, which you can't tell if he's for gun control or against gun control in the song. So I was expecting him to play that, but he didn't. He played Die for a Lie. Obviously, it was ISIS that a member of ISIS that performed that attack, or he did it in the name of ISIS. So he Die for a Lie. From there, he went into Metal is Metal, Metal is Metal, Metal on Metal. So as a whole, the concert was really amazing. They did a really good job again. I was really blown away by how good they were. And I actually talked to Lips about it afterwards, but I hadn't seen them live before, but I've seen clips of them live, and this really seemed to be a lot better than any of the clips I've seen. And I couldn't put my finger on it. And then when I was talking to Lips after the show, he kind of mentioned it, their new bassist. And their new bassist was amazing. And that's probably what it was. It really added a whole nother texture to the band. And he had mentioned that they've always had good bassists, but this guy, Chris, he's really amazing. And his bass solo, he just blew it out. I mean, the guy is a really technical bass player, and I was really blown away by how good he was. All three members of the band were just awesome. They've all put on an amazing show. Rob did a really good solo, and I'll do a little clip in a second of Rob's solo, as well as a couple clips of Lips playing. But as I mentioned, I got to talk to Lips. After the show was over, a couple people hung out, including myself, and the whole band came out and hung out for a while. I got to take a picture, which I'll put at the end of the video. I also had bought a copy of this from their booth. They were selling it for $20. This is the album. I got all three members. This is Rob, you got Chris, and then you've got Lips there to sign it. It's on, let me check something real quick. It's on this clear vinyl. I guess they call it a Coke bottle clear with the custom labels there. And again, this is the SPV, released by SPV. And then it also comes with a copy of the CD, which again, like I said, I already had a copy. And I thought about making this doing a little contest with this one, but because it came with the album, I think I'm just going to leave it sealed and in the album. But very cool that they had it. I was going to buy a shirt. I really wanted a shirt. They had some really nice ones. Unfortunately, everything but large and smaller was sold out. So they had no XL, double X, which is the size that I wear, or anything larger. Everything was sold out. This is, I believe, this is towards the end of this current tour, so they've just obviously run out of stuff, which kind of sucked. But you know, it is what it is. I was real happy that they had the album there, though, and like I said, it was only $20. I was going to bring a couple of my older albums, but I can't find my digging bag. I have a really nice suede bag that I go digging with. I don't know where it's at. I didn't want to walk around with albums. So about halfway through their set, I went and grabbed that from their merch booth and got them to sign it afterwards. But overall, it was a great experience. All the guys from the band spent time. The bad thing about the show was just the fact that there were so few people there. I would say there were only about 40 people maybe, and that may be a stretch. And most of the people weren't even familiar with the band. I'm sure a bunch of them, and he asked how many of you have seen the documentary. And I would say about half the hands went up. So a lot of people were there just because they saw the documentary, which is cool. They paid to see the band. You know, it's cool to support the band. But, you know, when they asked if anybody had bought their new album, I was the only one in the crowd that had raised their hand or even knew that they had a new album. So it kind of sucked to see so few people there because it was a really great show. The plus side of that is, again, because there were so few people, you know, I was literally, you know, 5 feet away from Lips for the whole show, you know, and then also, you know, the band came out and hung out, and most of those people left. So there were only 5 or 6 of us, you know, that really knew the band, that hung out and talked to the band and got to spend a little time with them. But so, you know, that's kind of the upside. But it was still kind of sad to see that many people there, that few people there for a band like Anvil, especially when they still go to Europe and play for 10, 15,000 people, you know. The music scene there and in Japan is just so much better than what it is here, unfortunately. And I'm sure that may not be the same in places like LA or maybe New York that have bigger metal scenes. But Atlanta has a pretty good metal scene, so, you know, again, it's surprising to see so few people there. But let me go ahead and throw in the clips here. I'm going to do quite a few clips. There's probably 4 or 5 good clips of the band that I'm going to go through right here. But that's pretty much it, VC. If anybody else saw them, I know at least 2 other people in the VC have mentioned going to the Anvil shows. Tell me what you thought of the band, what you thought of the opening acts, and I'll finish it up with this picture of Lips and I from after the show. Other than that, take care, VC, and I'll talk to you soon.